Let's look at how the Roto-Control can be a creative and powerful tool extending the capabilities of your external synths in MIDI mode. As you just saw, I've paired Roto-Control with the Syntakt. So I'll show you how to get set up and how we will map mutes to the buttons and some different parameters to the first 8 knobs on Roto-Control, which we then can automate in Motion Recorder. First off, we're going to put Roto-Control into MIDI mode. Let's start with a blank MIDI setup. And as you can see, Roto-Control has no mappings anywhere whatsoever. Roto-Control is in MIDI mode in standalone, so it's being powered by its USB-C power supply. I have the in and out going to the Syntakt's in and out as well. So in to out and out to in. We're doing this so we have bi-directional communication between the Roto-Control and the Syntakt. You'll also need to check the settings for the motion recorder on Roto-Control. So we hit function, and you can see we've got the option for internal, external clock, and the length of our motion recording. I want to set it at the highest, which is 64 steps. We hit function again to exit. Now we'll need to check the settings on the Syntakt. There's just a couple of settings, and these should apply to most Elektron gear. So under settings, we want to go to our MIDI config. We want to check our port config and make sure that we've got encoded destination to internal and external. This way, Roto-Control can learn from Syntakt sending information from the encoder. If it was internal, Roto-Control wouldn't be able to hear it. We also need to make sure that the Syntakt can receive CC or NRPM. We'll be using CC here. And then under the synchronization submenu, we want to make sure that we're also going to send clock as well. So now the Syntakt is set up and the Roto-Control. All we need to do now is learn the parameters that we want from our external device. That's why I'm going to use 8 tracks from the Syntakt to be controlled via the first page of the Roto-Control. So here I have tracks 1 to 4 and 9 to 12 on the Syntakt. I've got a little weird synth sound here, a lead sound there, a chord, ooh, dub techno. And here I've got some sustained noise. I think you call that a kick drum. Some clicky bass there. Some hi-hats, some noisy hi-hats. And I also have a ride cymbal finishing off our sound set. Let's first learn the on-off or the mutes across the first 8 buttons. So let's put the Syntakt into mute mode, tap learn on the Roto-Control, tap the button on the external device that will learn to the button here. As soon as I hit that button, you'll see that the Roto-Control has grabbed the channel and the CC, 94 here. Tap learn on the Roto-Control to confirm, and you can see it's labeled channel 1 CC 94. I go ahead and do that for the remaining buttons. We've learned all these buttons, and as you can see, Roto-Control defaults the labels to the channel and CC. Now we will change that in the Roto Setup app to look nice and pretty as we did just in our jam. Now let's learn these knobs to one parameter per track on the Syntakt. For this sound, on track 1, I want to learn the cutoff frequency to this knob. Press learn on the Roto-Control. Touch the knob, because remember it is touch sensitive. Then move or touch the knob on the external device. Here it is, the cutoff frequency here. I touch that and watch what happens on the Roto-Control. Bam, that is now mapped to the Roto-Control from the Syntakt. And don't forget, it's bi-directional, so I can move this and it will move the knob on the Roto-Control. It's a good way to check that you've done the right thing. Track 2. I also want to have control over that filter as well. So tap learn on the Roto, touch the knob. Away we go. We've got control over the filter. Easy. I think for this one, also the filter again on the low pass filter, the cutoff. Touch knob 3 on the Roto-Control, over here on the Syntakt. Cool, because don't forget, when we've learned all this, I'm then going to automate these parameters as well. Over on track 4, we have a sustained noise. On our kick, I actually want to learn the decay of the kick itself. So if we have a listen over here on the Syntakt, nice and short, nice and long, gives a big nice wobble at the end of that kick drum. So let's learn that. And then we've got control over that. Over that kick drum, nice. Next, we've got our kind of clicky, noisy bass there. I think the filter's going to work well with that. Nice. Next, our hats, we've got a bandpass filter. So let's leave that because I like the way the bandpass filter is cutting through all those frequencies. Let's also learn the decay on the synth page of the hi-hat here. That one up here. Last we have our cymbal sound, and I think maybe the filter would work well. Filtering that out would be cool. Learn, touch, filter. There we go. Now at this point you may want to go to your Roto Setup app and customize these labels so you know what's going on. So here's my setup, all customized and ready to control. Great. So let's do a bit of motion recording. I'm not going to record every single parameter because I still want to have some performative control over certain parameters. So, because the Syntakt is our master clock, just make sure of it. Great. We can hit record on the motion recorder, and the Roto-Control is not going to start recording until we hit play on the Syntakt. Now, as soon as we hit play, we're going to be recording. You'll also see the transport button will flash red when it's recording, and it will turn to blue when you've reached the end of the recording, and it's just playing back the automation. So if you're ready, let's do it. Don't be scared. You can also take over those knobs at any time if you want to override the automation. And soon as you let go, it'll go back to the recorded automation.